Let me tell you something most people never talk about. The ones who win the biggest in life are not the most talented or the most confident. They're the ones who failed more times than everyone else and still refused to stop. If you're watching this and feeling tired of trying, tired of falling, and tired of seeing others move ahead while you feel stuck, then listen carefully, because your failure is not a sign that you're losing. It's a sign that you're in the process most people quit before it ever starts. Most people only see the victory. They see the award, the applause, the money, the respect. What they don't see is the mountain of failure underneath it. The truth is uncomfortable, but powerful. The people who win big failed more than anyone else. Not once or twice, but again and again, in ways that broke their confidence, embarrassed them publicly, and made them question their worth. Winning big is not the result of avoiding failure. It is the reward for surviving more failure than others were willing to face. If you're listening to this right now feeling tired, stuck, or disappointed in yourself, this message is for you, because your failures are not proof that you're behind in life. They might be proof that you're on the right path. Think about Thomas Edison, a name almost synonymous with success and invention. History remembers him for the light bulb, but rarely for the thousands of failed experiments that came before it. He tested over 10,000 different materials before finding one that worked. Imagine failing 10,000 times at the same goal. Most people would have quit after 10, maybe even after 1. But Edison famously said he didn't fail 10,000 times. He found 10,000 ways that didn't work. That mindset wasn't motivation, poster language, it was survival. Every failed experiment gave him information, clarity, and direction. The final success wasn't a miracle. It was the inevitable outcome of refusing to stop after repeated failure. Winning big was only possible because he failed more than anyone else was willing to. Now bring this idea closer to your own life. Think about how many times you've failed and told yourself, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe you tried to start a YouTube channel and the views were low. Maybe you applied for jobs and got rejected. Maybe you trusted someone and it ended painfully. Each time, failure whispered a lie. That you're not good enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. But what if those failures weren't pushing you away from success, but dragging you toward it? The people who eventually win big don't have fewer failures than you. They have more. The only difference is they didn't let failure decide their identity. Consider J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was a struggling single mother, living on government assistance, battling depression, and facing rejection after rejection from publishers. 12 major publishers said no to her manuscript. 12 times she was told her story wasn't good enough, marketable enough, or worth the risk. Each rejection could have been the end of the dream. But she kept going. Not because she was confident, but because she was desperate to believe her story mattered. When the book finally got published, it didn't just succeed, it changed her life forever. But that overnight success was built on years of rejection and quiet failure that no one applauded. There's a pattern here that most people miss. Failure doesn't come to test your talent, it comes to test your commitment. People who win big are not the smartest or the luckiest. They are the ones who stayed when leaving would have been easier. They kept showing up when results were invisible. They kept believing when evidence suggested they shouldn't. Every failure hardened them, sharpened them, taught them something. Success never could. Success can make you comfortable. Failure makes you capable. Look at Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time. Early in his life, he was cut from his high school varsity basketball team. Imagine being told you're not good enough at the very thing you love most. Jordan didn't use that failure as an excuse to quit. He used it as fuel. He practiced obsessively, driven by the sting of rejection. Later in his career, he missed over 9,000 shots, lost hundreds of games, and failed repeatedly in critical moments. He openly admitted that these failures were the reason for his success. Every missed shot trained his nerves. Every loss taught him how to win. His greatness wasn't the absence of failure, it was mastery over it. This is where most people go wrong. They interpret failure as a stop sign, when it's actually a direction sign. They think failing means they chose the wrong path, when often it means they chose a difficult one. Easy paths rarely lead to extraordinary destinations. If what you're trying to do matters, failure is guaranteed. The bigger the dream, the more brutal the failures. People who win big understand this early, or they learn it the hard way. They stop asking, "Why am I failing?" and start asking, "What is this failure teaching me?" Even in ordinary life, this truth holds. Think about someone who becomes successful in business. Before the profitable company, there were failed ideas, lost money, sleepless nights, and moments of deep self-doubt. Maybe they opened a shop that didn't work. Maybe they trusted the wrong partner. Maybe they made decisions that cost them everything. From the outside, people only see the final success and say, "You're lucky." But luck had nothing to do with it. That person paid for their success in advance with failure. Failure has a way of stripping you down to your core. It removes ego. It removes illusion. It forces you to confront who you really are when things aren't going your way. People who win big don't avoid this process. They embrace it, even when it hurts. They let failure humble them without breaking them. They let it teach them discipline, patience, resilience, and emotional strength. These qualities cannot be downloaded or learned from books. They are earned through pain. Think about how many people quit right before the breakthrough. They fail once, twice, 3 times, and decide it's not worth it. They never realize that failure often increases right before success appears. The pressure builds. The doubts get louder. The results seem further away than ever. But for those who keep going, something shifts. Skills compound. Confidence grows quietly. Experience accumulates. And one day, what felt impossible starts to feel inevitable. You may feel right now like you're failing more than everyone around you. You may feel behind, embarrassed, or exhausted. But consider this. Maybe you're not losing. Maybe you're training. Maybe life is toughening you up because you're meant to handle more than an average life. People who win big are forged in moments where quitting made sense. If you're still standing after repeated failure, that says something powerful about you. Action comes from understanding this truth deeply. Stop trying to avoid failure. Instead, aim to fail forward. When something doesn't work, don't just feel the pain, study it. Ask yourself what went wrong, what you can improve, and what this experience gave you that you didn't have before. Take responsibility without self-hatred. Adjust your approach, not your dream. Consistency through failure is what separates those who win big from those who disappear quietly. It's also important to stop comparing your failures to other people's highlights. Social media shows success without context. It shows the finish line, not the miles of struggle before it. You don't know how many times that person wanted to quit, how many nights they cried, how many doors slammed in their face. Your journey doesn't need to look clean or impressive right now. It just needs to continue. The people who win big are not fearless. They feel fear deeply. They feel doubt, shame, and disappointment. The difference is, they don't let those emotions decide their future. They fail, they recover, and they try again slightly wiser, slightly stronger each time. Failure becomes familiar, not terrifying. It loses its power to stop them. One day, if you keep going, your story will inspire someone else. They'll see your success and assume it came easily. They won't see the failures unless you tell them. But you'll know that every setback was part of the price. And you'll be grateful you didn't quit when it hurt the most. So if you're failing right now, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What is this preparing me for?" Winning big is not reserved for the lucky few. It's reserved for the stubborn, the resilient, and the ones who refuse to let failure have the final word. Stay in the fight. Your failures are not the end of your story. They are the reason your story will matter. So, if you're standing in the middle of failure right now, don't shrink, stand taller. This moment is not here to break you, it's here to reveal you. Every rejection you've faced, every mistake you've made, every time you fell and had to get back up has been shaping a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more dangerous to your limits than you realize. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being built. From today, stop treating failure like a verdict and start treating it like a teacher. Take one lesson from your last setback and apply it immediately. One adjustment, one action, one brave step forward. Momentum is created the moment you refuse to quit. You don't need perfect confidence, just the courage to try again with what you've learned. Remember this: the pain you feel now will either become your excuse or your advantage. Choose wisely. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards persistence. And persistence is something you can choose today, right now, in this moment. One day, you will look back at this chapter and realize it was the turning point this season that forged your strength and clarified your purpose. Keep going, keep failing forward, keep showing up, because the people who win big are not the ones who never fell. They are the ones who decided, no matter what, to rise one more time.